The way we hunt leopard is we set up baits, we find places that work for us and where the leopard hopefully will feel comfortable and will eat. You try and set up a bait on one of the routes that the leopard uses. The male leopards have got definite routes, they've got places that they come past every however many days it may be, 5-8 days. And what you do is you set up your bait there. Often your bait is in close proximity to water. And what you're basically doing is just giving yourself the chance of the leopard finding your bait.
Let's get him out, we'll get him going for the leopard.
More leopard bait.
Baiting for leopards involves far more than simply hanging a carcass from a branch. Factors such as location of the tree, wind direction, height off the ground must all be taken into consideration. But when the bait's up, the real hunting begins.
The camp's just on the other side of those hills there.
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to put one here by this water, and then we're going to put another one down near where we saw those elephants, I think.
I guess it's just a game of covering as much ground as you can sooner or later.
You bait them in these areas because that's where the cats walk. That's like their hunting channels. They'll walk down a river and use it as a hunting line. They get from point A to point B there. They don't want to walk through the long wet grass and thick brush. They make a noise that's difficult for them to get up on prey. So what they do is they walk down a gully or a river. They'll hear animals off to the side, or they'll smell animals off to the side, and then they go out of the river and they go in and do their hunt to find their prey. Nice male leopard track.
Front pad, back pad?
Yeah, there's two there. There's the back one, there's the front one.
Mm-hmm. How big would a cat like that be?
I think around 7 foot.
It's a good size cat.
Nice tail, yeah.
Wow.
Leopard hunting gets really, really dangerous when a good shot isn't made and you have to start doing a follow-up on a leopard. They are incredibly camouflaged, they're very, very stealthy, and they will attack you from so close you won't even know what's happening. It will come so quickly and happen so fast that it'll just be a blur.
Lion, buffalo, or elephant attacks may be more lethal, but a leopard's is more certain. A wounded leopard always spells a violent encounter, as professional hunter Wayne Williamson knows all too well.
But they had the cat come in at about 5:30, got onto the branch. The hunter took the shot and he pulled the shot, and at the time we didn't know it, but it was hit in the back leg. A wounded leopard it's going to charge you. He's going to come for you. So when you're going after leopard, you're expecting that. You've got to be on the ball. And if you are 1 inch off, you're going to get taken out. So we got up early in the morning at first light. We were on the tracks. In the direction the cat was going, there was a massive troop of baboons. The baboons erupted. There was a massive screaming and shouting and running around the baboons. We knew the cat was there. I said to Jan, the other PH, that we should run in now because the leopard will be concentrating on the baboons and it'll be like a dog hunt. Now the bush was thick and we're jostling for space. We're actually struggling to get through, the two of us shoulder to shoulder. We didn't want to split up in case you swing and shoot each other. You've got to stay close together. Again, we could hear it coming, growling and charging towards us. And I saw a little gap in the bush underneath some brush and a branch, and I squatted down to see where it's coming from. And there was a line that I could shoot if it came down there, and it did. It started to come there. Jan took a shot, and the leopard kept coming. I tried to find the gap, took a shot and winged it. I stood up, reloaded, and I couldn't see the cat. Now, the next thing I knew, the cat was all over me. Grabbed me on my right hand and ripped the shotgun out of my hand and then jumped onto me. It then grabbed me behind the ear and was pulling my head forward, raking my skull, trying to bite me in the face. I then tried to push it over with my right hand and put my left hand into his mouth. This gave me a chance to grip the cat. But what I had done that morning, which is quite interesting, I've never done it before and probably will never do it again. I'd wrapped a towel around my arm and taped it to my arm to put protection, and I wore a glove on my left hand. Now that's a negative attitude in my opinion. One thing with leopards, they very rarely stay on you. They'll bite you, tear you up, and then they'll get off and go to the next guy. They like to share out the punishment. So I threw it down, I fell over, and it released it from me. It dropped it off me, and Jan ran up and shot it. I was then able to extract my hand from its mouth and stood up. The blood was pouring out of my head. I could see the scalp hanging down to my head. I managed to push it back into position with my hand. They put 39 stitches in my head. I had drains in my head for the next week, and there was quite a lot of nerve damage. It shows you that no matter how good you think you are, these animals always, it's their environment, not ours.
So what do they say about leopards? For every 1 second they're on you, it's 100 stitches?
100 stitches.
Yeah. So a leopard will feed on that 2 or 3 nights, maybe 3 or 4 nights?
Yeah, yeah. It's going to buy us some time anyway.
So as soon as he hits, we need to be here.
Yeah.
Same old story, huh?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as that big track shows up.
Then we get in here.
He's just been working up and down this corridor, huh?
Yeah. That female will be on here all
Yeah.
the time, but she'll eat the rump. You'll see her eating at the rump.
She won't be able to pull the rest of it up.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, the dinner table is set.
Tanzania's Selous Game Reserve must remind the leopard of the way all the world was once upon a time. That was when its habitat ran from the Cape of Africa north to Spain, then east through Persia, India, China, and Korea. Today its range is reduced, but the leopard still hunts across the old world.
Whew. Look at that. That's a big male cat. This is the one he's been hoping for. And he's crunching bone, which typically the females won't do. But this is a big cat, big track. This is exactly what we've been waiting for right here. Hot damn.
The way the bait's eaten is often tells you a lot about the leopard you're hunting. A female, she will go straight for the meat, the easy meat. Whereas a male will start breaking ribs and eating around the neck and the spine. And basically he'll just break that bone and chew it.
Now let's go forward because we're going to have to cut. We're going to have to dig in. Apple.
You know, leopard hunting is a game of patience. Basically trying to get as many baits out there as you possibly can, so you just maximize your chances of getting a cat to work. And then once that happens, boom, they set up a blind. These are real deals. I mean, this is a substantial little structure. It doesn't take just 10 minutes to put one of these things up. It's not a pop-up deal. It's let's cut the sticks, let's cut the grass, let's measure, let's make sure we've got these perfectly round shooting holes that are just right for your rifle. Got a little string here to rest the scope on, so the gun just sits there. What I've got here is a perfect view of the bait. If he slips in, I just take a rest. I wait for him to come, wait for him to come, wait for him to stop. And then I've got a great rest.
We don't want to disturb at all this cat because we need it in that tree as early as possible also because of the light.
Well, this is a big one you've been waiting for too. He just happened to miss the bait. Yeah. Missed the bait, he's found it now. There's been a female working, so we may see the female coming in. You're still going to have to identify just to make sure it's the male, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. There's 2 cats here, but this should be pretty straightforward, eh?
Yeah.
And that tree's perfect for that as well.
Wow.
It's small. But you see how you rip the bark up?
Oh yeah, I mean, deep, tearing into it.
It's
yeah.
so aggressive.
Yeah, that's a good cat by all signs. So
this is the biggest track we've seen in this concession.
this is the one you wanted from the get-go. This is the
From
one
day
you
one.
wanted to make sure hit. Fingers are crossed, buddy.
Yep.
Let's hope it happens
I hope
this
so.
time. Day 14, it's
Getting down to
getting
the
there.
wire.
Yeah.
The leopard does not have the Selous all to itself, of course. It must share the land and the game with other predators. Its 2 most serious rivals are the spotted hyena and the lion. So the leopard has found a niche for itself, one it can exploit to the utmost. For the leopard has learned to dominate the darkness when the other predators are at a disadvantage. Not even a hyena is foolish enough to battle a leopard in the dark. For Dorsey and van der Merwe, though, this creates a very narrow window of opportunity. They have only the daylight hours in which to hunt a cat that lives by night, and the days are growing short.
So it's day 25 to day 30 that I've been in a leopard blind. Never seen a leopard on bait. We come in just as I've done 25, 30 different times now, and slipping in sort of blind faith, if you will, that something might show up this time, and sit down, and within 15 minutes, all of a sudden the trees start shaking across the Karunga where the bait is. You know, Zane's looking through one of the peepholes. He's got the binocs on him. He can see it's a male. It's the big male that we've been waiting for, that's been kind of working the circuit up and down the Karunga. You know, at this point, my heart's just about ready to come out of my chest. I'm doing everything I can do to control my nerves because the safety's off, the crosshairs are on. I look over at the cameraman, he's too dark. And I'm like, you know, just crestfallen at that point. Oh, and I'm sitting there watching this, you know, barely visible, but yet completely visible. And at one point, he drops his claws down because he's so tired from hanging on. I mean, it's the most amazing sight I've ever seen in the hunting world. I mean, it was just an incredible sequence. And to go so many days in a leopard blind without seeing a leopard, and then to have, you know, this big tom, not just any old cat, but clearly the big tom in the area, show up, put on a show, was just spectacular. So the cat finally drops off, literally just lets go from his bite and drops off. And at this point, of course, I'm coming unglued, waiting for the sign that the camera's got enough light, and just about then the camera has enough light. And of course I'm sitting there going, I wonder if that's the last time we're going to see him. You know, surely he's going to come back up one more time, didn't get enough food. And we waited, and we waited, and we waited. And at that point, it became pretty clear, maybe 10, 15 minutes later, everything's silent. This cat's not coming back. This is my third leopard hunt now. First one I've seen on bait, big, beautiful male leopard, and just heartbreaking. But the good news is we didn't spook him off. He just ate all he wanted to eat, took off. So we're going to replenish this bait right here. Pray to God he comes back.
The famous P.H. Harry Selby once said, "Leopards do strange things to people's personalities." Host and author Chris Dorsey can definitely be forgiven if they've done something to his. This hunt in Tanzania's Selous Game Reserve represents over 3 solid weeks spent in leopard blinds during the course of 3 safaris. Hundreds of hours of tension-filled waiting without a shot. And then, bad luck.
This is mile 212, checking baits, going from one end of this concession to the other. And we've got 2 baits right now that are pretty active. We know we've got one really good tom working, and we think he's going to come back, and we think he's going to come back maybe tonight. So we're going to head there right now and check. And if he's there, we'll be ready for him this afternoon. God willing, and the creek don't rise anyway.
Yep. It's very, very frustrating. There's a lot of driving, there's a lot of work that goes into baiting and blind building and getting a leopard onto bait. And then to have him not jump up the tree one last time when it could have worked out, very, very frustrating. You're hunting a very elusive cat. It's pretty much a nocturnal animal. You're trying to shoot it in daylight. They're very, very shy and secretive as it is. We were actually lucky to get a chance at a leopard, and on a safari, in a 14-day safari or 21-day safari, even a good leopard area like this, you still might only get one chance at shooting that leopard.
Okay, go ahead. That's him, Chris. Take him.
Fell straight out of the tree.
Good shot.
I saw the golden pouch, man.
Yep.
I kept signaling. I didn't know if you were going to come up or not. You were right here looking through.
I was just looking through the jet. I didn't got there.
Holy shit.
Got in at
we
fine,
got this guy? Hot damn, man.
Well done.
I can't believe it.
The only shot at a leopard is when it's standing broadside and its shoulder and its heart lung area are clearly exposed. Wounded leopards don't offer second shots, but it looks like Dorsey's made his first one count.
25 days at a blind, this cat finally shows up. I can't believe it. I mean, I thought this hunt was over. 2 days ago, we had a chance. He was there for a second and then gone.
Okay, go ahead. That's him, Chris. Take him.
All the hunting I've done anywhere in the world, this is definitely the most rewarding hunt I've ever been on, because it's had so many highs and lows. I mean, we were down to utter despair at one point, and then to have this cat show up literally the 11th hour, just big and bold and beautiful on that limb, it's incredible, just incredible. We got him.
Damn.
We freaking got him. Oh my God. Oh my God.
The hardest time in all of hunting may be that spent in a blind, awaiting the near magical appearance of a leopard. And most of the time there is no appearance. But then, as author Robert Ruark wrote, there comes a moment when, where there had been nothing but tree, there is now nothing but leopard. And then there follows the eternity between the shot and finding the cat. Dorsey, having spent many hours and days in this pursuit, is entitled to all the jubilation that comes from meeting dangerous game.